My name is Marty Owen, Chief. I'm a student at the Pawnee Nation College. I have here Mr. Dennis Haga. Oh, I thought you was going to.
Oh, well, yes, I'm a science instructor at Pawnee Nation College, teach biology and other related science courses, and I've been asked to help with the SEED project any way I can, although I might be limited in my knowledge and abilities. I think it's an important process to maintain the genetic strains of the heritage corn related to Pawnee Nation tribe. It connects the past with the present and also helps to maintain some biodiversity in those particular strains of corn, which can be of a benefit in later years for various purposes to improve corn varieties that we now have available to us. They've had some difficulties with their project in producing the corn. A lack of production will reduce the genetic pool, which could then eventually lead to the extinction of that particular strain of corn. Based upon what I've been made aware of, I believe that possibly looking into past production sites of those endangered or limited corn varieties and comparing those plots to one another and looking into the differences that may appear, that is, some plots produce more corn than others, and comparing those plots based upon their different soil chemistries and environments, particularly. Of course, corn is a heavy feeder of the soil, so a soil analysis could be done on those plots that produce the most ears over time, and then of course those results could be compared to those other plots where production wasn't as great. But a soil analysis can be obtained by taking a random sample of the soil and having it analyzed through an extension cooperative or soil conservation service that's provided in each county in the state of Oklahoma. It's a minimal fee or free to charge to citizens of the county, but that's something I'm not really aware of. And also, what has to be considered is the different growing methods at each plot. Were they watered on a regular basis? Was it dependent upon water from nature, such as rain? Or was there any kind of consistency in the watering that the individuals did of their plots? And also what has to be considered is the potential for cross-pollination. Corn is an open pollinated plant, and pollen from various other plant types can pollinate the silks of the plants some distance away from the site where they're being grown. So to maintain purity, need to develop a method to keep cross-pollination from taking place.
So do you think if we did on the suggestions that you made to us that maybe we could bring back our corn that is going into the state?
Yes, I think with a little due diligence and some attention paid to the differences in those plots that produce the most when compared to those plots that produce minimum amounts, you should get some idea as to what needs to be done soil-wise and maintenance or care-wise to those particular plots. What could be drawn from the information that you might get from a soil analysis and the tending practices of those growers that grow the corn, you should be able to develop a strategy that would maximize the seed you have available in terms of producing more.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mr. Haga, in terms of Oklahoma soil compared to Nebraska soil and the ability to, or the inability to grow our seeds here in Oklahoma, do you think it would be safe for us to send those seeds back to Nebraska and see what the results they could produce, as opposed to here? Because I think it's pretty safe to say that without the proper soil, those ancestral seeds that are natural to Nebraska would not grow here. Now that's what the conclusion that we've come up on many occasions.
What you might be able to do is to see if the Nebraska plots have had soil analysis done, and then compare those to the Oklahoma soil plots, and then you should be able to add amendments to the soil here and be successful at growing the corn here. Because corn is a hot weather plant. We know we get some good hot weather here, and with adequate water and soil nutrients, there should be no reason why it couldn't be grown here in significant amounts, just like it is grown there.
Do you think factors such as clay and the fact that our soil there's a lot of bedrock in the soil, in the ground here in Oklahoma, do you think that those factors play into the reason why the soil isn't as nutrient enough to provide adequate nutrients for the crop?
What we have to consider is that plays a role. Of course, you want to get the soil in top condition for growing. And of course, in many places, the original topsoil has been eroded or washed away with runoff water and that kind of stuff. But there's no reason why plots of ground could not be prepared to adequately support the growth and production of a particular corn crop. I don't really see any reason why it couldn't happen.
Any water, the water resources that we have available here, do you think rainwater would be better to use? Would it be tap water from a hose? What are our options as far as watering?
Well, I think watering probably becomes an integral factor in Oklahoma because of the recent period of drought-like conditions we've experienced. The only thing that I would say is that water without chlorine would probably be better than municipal water that you would get out of the tap at your house. The chlorine does have a tendency to burn leaves, and of course, you can let that water stand. Okay, if you don't have a source other than municipal water, you probably want to let the water stand like 24 hours and then use it to water the corn. You know, and that would require some kind of storage container that would hold adequate amounts of water to supply. But yeah, the chlorine probably would be a problem, significant problem, at least from my perspective and my experience with plants. Chlorinated water does have a tendency sometimes to cause deep burn. And of course, anytime we damage the plant, it's going to compensate for that damage by replacing or repairing that damage, and therefore nutrients and things are used for that as opposed to the production of new seed.
All right. Just one more question.
Okay.
On with Pawnee Nation College, do you see opportunity for them to be able to incorporate these types of maybe educational environments, learning classes to students, available to students who are interested in trying to bring back these seeds and the methods that are involved?
From the standpoint of seed preservation, it's kind of an ecological endeavor where, by understanding the factors that influence the growth and the production of seed crops, food crops from antiquity, they definitely have a place in the world. Biodiversity is very important with ever-burgeoning human populations and the loss of natural and wild habitat and wild things. Any conservation, preservation of that is of significant value.
I guess that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I won't hang around for the